To do when making candles is boil your water. So you can't fully see it behind me. Got some pots boiling back there. And when you make candles, you have to melt the wax, obviously. But you can't just put wax into like a regular pan or a regular pot because it will burn the wax. So you need to use a double boiler. A double boiler essentially like sits on top of a boiling pot, and the water boils the bottom of it so that it like just doesn't get as hot as if the wax was directly on the metal. It can only fit 10 ounces of wax at a time. That's one thing to note. So you need to make one candle and then you'll make the second candle. Okay, so now that we have our wax melting in the background, I'm going to prep the 2 pots that we'll be pouring the wax into once it's ready. And we know when it's ready by monitoring the temperature, so you'll also receive thermometers in your candle kit. Okay, so for prepping the candles, we have wicks, we have stickers so that we can place the wicks on the bottom of the candles, and we have these little popsicle sticks with a hole in it so that you can thread your wick through and it'll sit on the top and hold your wick in place in the center. These little stickers are pretty handy. You can also use glue, hot glue, probably super glue, but these are just more convenient and save you the time. So you just place it, it's sticky on both sides, place it on the bottom of this little aluminum piece, and then you'll place this in the center of your jar. Okay, so here's our setup. Again, the water is boiling under here. And then I poured in my wax. When you initially pour into the wax in, you may need to let it melt a little bit before you pour in the rest. Okay, so now that the candle wax has heated to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. I just realized I was looking at the Celsius read for a while. We're gonna let it sit. Now we want it to cool all the way back down to 115 before we add the fragrance in, and then we'll pour the wax after that. Once your wax has reached 180 degrees Fahrenheit, you can remove it from the stove so that it will cool faster, because it'll probably take like 20 minutes to cool down to 115. I do recommend putting it on some sort of hot pad or paper towel though, so that you don't damage your countertops. Okay everyone, we're finally down to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. So it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to cool, probably depending on the temperature of your home and the countertop. And I'm gonna pour the fragrance. This is the fun part. I'm just gently pour it in. Some people say it's good to avoid bubbles, because if you create bubbles in your wax, then that's also what can potentially cause some sinkholes once it dries or hardens. I'm just gonna mix it around a little bit. And now I'm gonna pour. So you wanna make sure that your wick is in the center and that your popsicle stick hasn't fallen off to the side. And then we'll gently, slowly pour the wax in. They take about 24 hours to harden. You'll notice gradually that they'll start to turn, this yellow color will turn white. And it'll probably harden before the 24-hour mark, but it might not be hardened all the way through. So I do recommend waiting 24 hours. And then we'll light them and see how they do.